Hey now, and welcome in. You've just pulled up a seat at the Mystics table. This is Soul Sunday service, part of the Me in Me project, Consciousness Unplugged. I'm your host, the Southern Mystic Girl, but you can call me D, your relatable mystic. This space is sacred. It's where we take ancient esoteric truths, big old biblical allegories, and mystic downloads and break them into soul food for your right now, because spirit is still speaking and you're still awakening. Let's get into it. Welcome to my Sunday Soul Service. My name is Dee. I'm the Southern Mystic Girl, and this is my table. Welcome. Have a seat. Come on in. And we're going to chop up some big old truths from the Bible. This is my host, Deborah.
Hello,
How are you
everyone.
this morning?
Welcome. I'm doing excellent. I can't be better.
Well, Deborah is my girlfriend. I tell you, we'll get into all of our history. This is my first episode of this Soul Sunday service, and yay me, yay me.
Yes.
My girlfriend Deborah has this Fear to Freedom project, and I tell you, I am a work in progress myself. So her Fear to Freedom has unlocked this part of me, and I'm ready to share it with the world. And what am I ready to share? Well, I like to look at the Bible in an esoteric way. And that means taking those huge allegorical stories, making them bite-sized pieces that you can digest in 2025, not back then. So I look at it like, not a historical book, not a linear book, but a book about your soul, and it's all about you. And that's what we're going to be talking about on Sundays. My co-host, she is this wonderful question asker.
Don't I ask all the questions? Lord, have mercy. I
And
used to
so
get in
she
trouble
gets
for
me out
that.
of my no, don't listen. She gets me out of my head because I am an air sign. I listen. That's who I am. I am an Aquarius, Scorpio Aquarius, and that means my sun, my moon, and my rising. So I'm all up in the air. And so my girlfriend, she really helps me see things in a way that I wouldn't see them because I'm so airy, like I'm talking now. So today I just want to I want you to get to know me. I want you to get to know the Southern Mystic, why I call myself the Southern Mystic, and what exactly this show will be offering every Sunday morning for you to digest and to eat on all week.
You know what? Can
So,
I say something before you get started?
yes.
I am so honored to be here for the launch of your channel. I just think that it is time for the world to see and hear you and hear your magic and 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 to get a piece of your medicine. And
Oh my God.
yes, absolutely.
I love that.
The words that you bring, the information that you bring has been so instrumental in my spiritual growth that I could not wait until to share it with the world. I've been getting so much doses of you to myself, and I can be selfish to say, no, no, just give it all to me. But
Listen,
I cannot be
I
that
love giving it
anymore.
to you. I love it.
I'm I'm so glad that you have started this channel and that you are going to share yourself with everyone, and those who will be drawn to this medicine will love it and remember it forever. It
Yes.
will serve their highest good. So, yeah, I'm excited about that.
Deb, I think that this is a time for us I always talk about the age of Aquarius. And
Mm-hmm.
the reason that is so important is because this is the age where we're uncovering. We just moved out of the Piscean age. Some say in the 60s, some say around 2012, whatever the age may be. The Piscean age has ushered itself out, and we're living in this age of enlightenment. And so many people want to hear this medicine, but in a way, I call myself the realistic mystic, the realistic mystic Southern girl, because how am I going to take these stories out of this Bible and make them fit me right now?
Yeah.
How is this relevant to me right now? And so that's why I think the medicine is so needed. It's needed because people want to know, how do I take this spirituality thing that's everybody's pushing in my face? How do I take that and now make it applicable
Hmm.
to my space, to my not being able to see the truth about myself through whatever life is throwing us? When we
Hmm.
can see things in a way that's not so linear, that also speaks to the soul, and gives the soul that little dose of whatever it needs to keep pushing, to continue to evolve, because that's what it's all about for me. It's about evolution. This medicine saved my life 25 years ago. Saved my life. I'm a mystic. I'm a channel. I've been channeling since I was 7. But esoterically, looking at things differently has changed. It's a game changer. It
Well,
is.
I'll tell you what else it's going to do for people like me who was conditioned through Christianity and knew that there was something that did not add up about it, but was
Hmm.
afraid to question things and also kind of looked at the Bible very linearly and not in an esoteric way at all, but just, like just what it said is what I saw. But still, some things didn't add up. And I think that people are searching and trying to make sense of things. And so this information is going to give people a broader perspective and a new way of looking at it as we do move through this new age of evolution. It's like it's going
Yes.
to be enlightening and it's going to help people to become more aware. I'm so glad. I am really so grateful and thankful that you do have this knowledge and you have been channeling since you were 7 years old. I mean, it is going to probably turn some people away. I don't know, but it is
Yeah.
going to make people say, the
Yeah.
people that really want to, and I don't care about the people that it turns away, you're just not ready for it. But for
Right.
people that are like, I knew it. I knew my grandmother's live. I knew my mama was living. I could feel her or whatever. And so that's what's been so rewarding for me. So yeah, this is
Yeah.
this is just great. I'm
Yeah.
happy about this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Because when you can reach inside of yourself, you can reach inside to your ancestors and they can really speak to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um,
because wait,
no,
because
go, go.
you said to me, you are your ancestors. And
Yes.
that was like, what? Like, girl, what are you talking about? And but I sense, I since then I understand exactly what you're saying, and I am my ancestors. But when you first said that, I was like, what does that mean? Like, how could I just be them? But we are all one. So you get to
Yes.
explain that. And this is just going to be such a doozy. It is. It's going to be a doozy on Sundays. Hopefully people are looking for something besides being, at Bedside University or Bedside Church, Bedside
Right.
AME. We'll just cut this on, and,
Right.
and be with
Right.
sit at the mystics table. This is great.
Sit here at the mystics table and take those stories that seem so far off, like those stories of Moses, that you see the television shows, you can read it, but how does this relate to me? How does this relate to my own consciousness? And that's what the Bible is. It is you in there. Every part of you, all of the different consciousness of you. It's not talking about some distant ancestor that you can no longer reach and they can't find, their grave. Because if you're looking at it like that, you're never going to find the proof that you really are looking for. You know what I'm saying? But when you
Yes.
look at it from, this is my soul, and my soul has a book, and, I can learn, and not just one book, because I don't want this channel just to be for one book.
Yes.
All truths. You know that. I mean, we will talk about Florence Scovel on this channel. We will talk about
Neville. Neville.
Neville Goddard.
Ike. Reverend Ike.
Reverend Ike. We'll talk about all of those mystical people who came along way before us and was ringing the bell and trying to tell us that, hey, the Bible isn't this book that they're giving to you. This is a book of freedom. It's
Yes.
about your soul. It's about you, not a book of bondage. And that's how it was sold to us, as a
Yes.
book of bondage.
Yes.
And that is just not how I subscribe to it any longer. It kept me, I mean, these secrets and this one way knowledge of the Bible kept me in bondage for years, years, afraid of everything that didn't,
Yeah.
if it didn't come from the Bible, it wasn't right. Years of bondage, keeping me set in a mindset that kept me looping around the same thing. And I remember when my soul had to crack open, it was 1999 when I lost my husband tragically to a murder. And then my daughter, 1 month later, would develop cancer. This mystic truth, this is how I got through, seeing myself a little bit deeper than what I was told. You know, I
But you
didn't
know
have to
what? I'm
hold.
proud of you though, because you still like go to church and you
I
still
do.
embrace church in a way that it's a different way. And me, I was like, I'm not going to church. I don't feel like being bothered with no church people. And I did not give them a chance anymore. And I'm still kind of sort of that way. And it's okay. I embrace where I am. It's just not for me.
Yes.
But I do love that you continue to be in that space, but be in that space with a different understanding, a
Yes.
different
Yes.
reverence, and in a way
I'm in
that
that
is
space.
supportive. Yes, that's very supportive to people. So yeah, I'm proud of you for that. I really am. I admire you in that way.
Well, Deb, you know my story, and you know that I took not just 1 year, I took a couple years away from the church because my new knowledge was brushing too much up against that and causing so much dissidence that I really did have to step away from it. When I went back, I was able to see, man, you have really grown. That limiting belief that you had and carried about yourself, you no longer feel that way. It doesn't even brush up against you the same way. Oh, you can see now why, because I'm a why girl. We were talking before we came on camera, and I was a behaviorist, and Deb was saying, it all bleeds through. And now here's a statement that's going to bleed through. Because I am a why person, I like to see the connection, the correlation between the growth or why I chose to believe that way, now what I'm doing differently. So that's what the church gives me when I do go. I don't go every Sunday, but I do. I'm what you call a mystic Christian. And there are a lot of us out here that we didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We just chose to start looking at it differently.
Hmm.
And that works for us. But that doesn't work for everyone. It really doesn't. Because it can cause dissidence. And it really did. It caused me to be confused about a few things because a lot of that limiting beliefs were taught to us out of bondage. And I
Hmm.
was comfortable with that bondage.
Yeah, we all were. I mean, what else did we have? There was nothing else that we had. And so it's time for us, though, to evolve. It's time. I mean, this is the perfect timing for us to
Yeah,
see things differently because if you look around the world, things are changing. And so, in
absolutely.
order for you to be free, at least in order for me to be free, I have to look at things from a different point of view. And this has given me a different angle. And also, just the channeling that you have done. I want to ask you a
Mhm.
question about that, because and probably in the Christian world, I've even heard people say, oh, no, you cannot talk to the dead. You can't talk to your ancestors. Your ancestors are, like over there. And that's something like, it's almost like we're doing something wrong. I get up and talk when I say talk to my ancestors, what? I trust them more than I trust myself sometimes. I do
What?
because when I say I cannot go a day without talking to my ancestors and they communicate back to me, you know?
Yes.
And so you
Yes.
have channeled my ancestors. I have watched it. I've heard it. I've been shocked too. Like,
Me too.
like how in the
Me
world
too.
can you do that? But I totally get it now. And It's so funny because it's so funny, and we will get to those stories, along the way as we
Yes.
progress with your channel and, the things that we talk about. But it's so funny that when you come in and you're like channeling an ancestor that is mine, and you're just like, I don't know who this person is. And I'm like, well, I pulled my cards and this person came up in my cards. You're
You know,
like, girl,
I need
you
to
need to
watch you when
start
you're doing
telling me who
this.
you talking to.
I was in Alabama, guys. Like I was in Tuscaloosa, my hometown. And that's the other reason that they call me the Southern Mystic. I'm from the deep South. And she's pulling, and I don't know what she's saying. I don't know who she's talking to. And I'm being guided by this ancient, Father Fire, like being guided. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? I get back to North Carolina. I had this overwhelming feeling to call her to talk to her about it. So she's like, come on over. I'm coming over. I'm just driving. Father Fire is talking. I'm like, what in the world is going on? I get there and I don't remember anything else after then because Father
Okay, well,
Fire
I can
just,
tell you,
yes.
okay, yeah, you did a whole channel. I didn't even realize, you remember, I didn't realize that it was Father Fire until I'm like, who are you? Because you had channeled another ancestor, divine feminine ancestor called
Oh,
Mother Life.
yes.
And so I'm
Life.
thinking it's life, and then it's Father Fire. And you're like, but, but that channel, that information that you brought through, it was so profound. It was actually, I needed that information for my healing, some unhealed
Wow.
wounds with my father. And so, yeah, that impacted my now intimate relationships with family members and even my past partners. So it was really profound. But after it was over, I think I was like, no, you were something like, I said to you, like, yeah, Father Fire, that's one of my ancestors. He came up in my lineage. And you were like, what? Why don't you tell me about this Father Fire? And I'm like,
Can't you
I
tell
didn't
me who
know it.
you're conjuring?
I know it was like a month ago. I didn't know to tell you, when I'm pulling my cards and I'm sitting with my ancestors, I don't think, okay, I need to call you that you're going to be channeling them and you
Right.
don't know.
Right.
So that was
No, I
just,
didn't
but
know.
that was such a profound moment for me because literally I had to heal wounds, and that
Hmm.
ancestor came through you to help me heal those wounds. You could not have made that. It's no way we could have made that up because we didn't know. We had not spoken about that. And so I tell you, my
Well, we were
my
hundreds of
daddy
miles
came through for
away.
that. I know, I know. So, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And
I'm glad to be your friend.
I'm glad you're my sister. You're more than my friend. You're my soul sister.
Yeah,
We've
my
done this life
sister.
so many times together. But it couldn't have been something that was orchestrated. I did want to point out because Charlotte to Tuscaloosa is like,
Right.
hundreds of miles away, and we just didn't talk like that. But what we do is we talk in the spirit, and because we are connected, and because the law of oneness, and because there's no way that you can be apart from Source, there's no way that I can be apart from Source. What we do is we connect in Source. Our sources connect, and because we're never apart from each other. And that is why we can feel someone who we haven't seen in decades, or we can pick up a phone, or, just like you and I. You and I are constantly with this dance. I'll call you. It's in the morning. You're just coming out of meditation, or I'm coming out of meditation. An ancestor drops in, and bam, we're off to the races. And the information that comes through is life changing.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
has propelled both of our journeys in a way that would have taken much longer if
Yeah.
we, would have continued to do it the world's way. We would have gotten there because no matter what, we all get there. And I say that because I had an NDE, and for my NDE, it was told, like, you all gonna get here. There's no way that you don't get here. And that's a release from prison. Which prison?
Yeah.
Death. That's a release from fear. Which fear? All of them. We
Yeah.
all get there. And I know that the church preaches it differently, but this is how I look at it. This is what freed my soul. And if it resonates with someone, yay. And if it's not resonating, it's not time for you for this lesson, you know? I
Mm-hmm.
remember I got a Neville Goddard book once because I jumped head strong into it. Deb, I got that book and tried to read it. Couldn't understand one jot or tittle. I'm like, what in the world? I went back and I got some other books, The Power of Now by Eckhart
Mm-hmm.
Tolle and all these other books, these three magic words. I got that book. I read some other books. And then I came back to the resurrection book of Neville Goddard. And I was able to understand a lot more. What I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, sometimes you click on something and it doesn't resonate. It's
Right.
okay. Sometimes you could go back and then it will resonate. Your teacher is out there. Just be open to her or him
Yes.
or it
Yes. Don't think that
or
it's
the
going to
other side.
come in a way that you feel comfortable. Sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone and think outside of the box. Like God is expansive. We are
Yes.
expanded beings, right? We have a soul, we are spirits, and so it is not just what you see, this body here. So sometimes you have to, right, just open your mind up. And I'm all about learning. I love to learn. My mom was like that. She gave me those books. I followed her around. I read the books that she had. She took me to my first past life regression meditation. It freaked me out, but I still was hanging with her, in my 20s, like, what is this lady? What is she doing? But no, it resonated. It
You
sat
had the
there.
mother
It
of
was
all mothers. I was, I'm
my
sorry.
mother is that's funny. She did take me to my first past life regression. I'm like, what are you doing? You
I
know?
mean, I love that. I love that. I didn't get my first past life regression until I was in my late 40s, just, late 40s, early 50s. And then I had another one. But I'm telling you, you had this experience given to you by your mom.
Yeah.
Girl,
Yeah,
who
but
else
it
could
was
have done
weird
this
to me.
channel with?
It's so funny too. You know what else my mom talked about? Excuse me, my mom told me about the Akashic records. She did not call them the Akashic records, but when I was younger, she told me about the book of life and the book of life and how it had everything in it about you, in you, through you, everything about you, and that your name was written there. And but I learned now, in my adult life, I had an Akashic records reading, and I had to ask her. I was like, "Is this the book of life?" And she said, "Yes, yes, it is." And I was like, "Geez, my mom told me about the book of life a long time ago when I was young." And she kind of made it kind of scary because she said, "There's a book and your name is in it and everything about you." So, you know, um, I was like,
Oh
wow,
my
okay,
gosh.
something about this book. I wonder what's in there, and me in my head, in my linear thinking,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn, it's a whole lot of shit in there because I've done a lot of shit. Yeah, I was like, geez, God is taking notes
It's,
and probably
I'm
like,
like,
this girl,
please.
let me write down her stuff because she is extra. So, no, but it's not like there's such a beautiful book. It's all about your story, past life, past lives and everything, every lifetime that you've ever lived is in that book, and you're entitled to know about it. So,
Absolutely. You know, Deb, I'm so glad you said that about the book of life because that's in the Bible, the book of life. It talks about that in
yes.
Revelations. And so a lot of the mysticism of the Bible came from our ancestors. Now, you and I talk about this, and I'm not going to go into a history lesson, but what bothers me is that this history has been stolen and transmuted into something that was totally punitive. The Akashic records, if it was taught like this, more believers, you know what I'm saying,
I'm
sitting
reading
in
that book
pews would
now,
feel
talking about
more,
how it was
would,
stolen.
yes, would feel more empowered. But the power was taken out of the book. I am here to remind you that the power is not in a book, the power is in you. That's what this show is about. That's what the Southern Mystic Girl is about. I'm here to remind you to reclaim your truth. I'm here to remind you that you are the walking Bible of truth of who you are and that no answer is outside of you. I'm
Mm,
here to remind you
mm.
to unplug from the matrix. Come on, unpluggers.
Yes.
That's what the Me and Me project
Mm.
is all about. And that Me and Me project is me, and you have a Me and Me, and all of the listeners that's unplugging has a Me in Me. And that's the empowering thing about finding your truth, even if you found it in the Bible, if you found it in some other book. Listen, believe enough in yourself to remember that you're a powerful being. You're power. You
Mm-hmm.
are powerful. Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
I'm so glad that you brought that up about the Akashic records and how it really intersects and connects right to the Bible. These truths are right here. They've been here for centuries. And once you can, see yourself as this truth, you'll stop letting people take your truth from you. Or you'll stop
Yes.
taking you'll stop giving that truth away, you
Mm.
know?
Stop believing everything. No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I don't have to anymore, That's the good thing about it. Like, and I'm very comfortable in my knowing now. Yeah. I don't
We
believe
have to tell
nothing.
that
I know.
story.
What story? What?
We have to tell that story about the knowingness and the whole, how your
Yes.
plant medicine and this journey of knowingness
Mm,
is just unfolding. And it's a
mm.
beautiful story, and I really want the listeners to hear it so that we can constantly remind people it's time to unplug from the noise and
Yes.
plug into yourself.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Thank you for saying that. Yes. Unplug from the noise, plug into your own, tune into your own self, tune into your soul, Your soul know
Yeah.
what it came here to do. Ask your soul, reclaim parts of your soul that was broken off, through those traumas and through the things that we've been through, but you can retrieve it, you can retrieve
Yes.
those
Oh, I
parts.
love that.
Yes, soul retrieval. That's the card that I pulled this morning, My ancestors
My
telling me,
goodness. See,
yes,
there she goes
all
again with
about
those
soul
cards.
retrieve. I love my cards, and it's so funny because
I love them too.
we'll get, I know we running out of time, but
Yeah.
Abiola, I started pulling her cards, using her cards. That's the first oracles that I started pulling. And so I was like feeling a little weird about it, feeling a little weird about maybe doing it for someone else. But my gift is there. The gift
Yes.
of using the oracles are there. And when I went on my plant medicine experience journey, I was told to continue to use my gifts and my craft to support others, in their journey. So
Yes.
I'm not afraid about it
Yes.
anymore. Not anymore. Yeah.
And we want to welcome your cards to the Mystic Table. I would love for you to do a reading right here. This is what this is about, guys. This is about taking all of the truths of God, which is all around us, and securing, our soul's journey. And well, I don't want to use the word securing, but enlightening or awakening our soul's journey even more, allowing even more knowledge to come from other ways. This is not your normal, Bible study or your soul Sunday service. This is about soul service. This is about servicing your soul, and
Yes.
not from a way where we want to control, but we want you to feel as free as we are. And this is such a freedom to have when you can have control over your own journey and know that, have that knowingness Deborah was just talking about. So join us every Sunday morning. Remember to unplug. Remember to give your soul something to unplug for. And that's you. Remember that you're your own person. Remember that you make your own decisions. And remember, you are your own guru. You're your own guru. No one else is showing you this. Thank you for tuning in. It's been an awesome 30 minutes. Tune back in next Sunday. We're going to open the alabaster box We're going to talk about what that box really symbolizes in the Bible. I am your girl, your Southern Mystic Girl D. That's Deborah, and we thank you for showing up with us. Peace. Hey guys, I just want to remind you before you leave, you have your own mind. You make your own decisions, and you are your own person. It is never too late for you to unplug from the matrix and plug into yourself. Remember, stay open, stay unplugged, and definitely stay you. We'll see you next time.